Everybody, welcome to Monday Night with Two Real Geeks. I'm Jess. Um, Danny's here manning the he always does for me. How's everybody doing? Hope you guys had a great weekend. What's everybody up to? Give everybody a minute to pop up. For my chat to pop up so I can see that. So, if everybody saw the announcement, tonight is our Batman extravaganza. All things Batman. Well, all things live action Batman, I should say. I'm not going to get too much into like the comic books, a little bit, a whole lot, like in depth or anything like that, and not really like any of the animated stuff too much. But I'm going to talk about movies, TV series, all that good stuff. So we'll be getting into that. Who do we have here? Hey, Rachel, Pam, Dejani, Patrick. Thanks everybody for joining in. So, before I hop into all the back stuff, talk a little bit about what else is going on in the geek entertainment world this on some stuff that we talked about when we were announcing what was upcoming for February. So, has anybody watched Lego Masters? It's been 2 episodes so far. We like it. It's pretty cute. They don't show like, I mean, like they show the builds, but they don't show like that. So that would be kind of cool. I think maybe to see like a little bit more of the builds for sure. But really cool stuff. Most of the contestants are pretty cool. There's 1 or 2 that are just like, ugh. But one in particular, yeah. Hey, PTV. Like that. There was a new episode of Bob's Burgers, finally. There hasn't been any new episodes for a while, so new episodes back on Bob's. Excellent and awesome. It was a cute episode this week, not one of my favorites, but it was good, and it's good that that's back in rotation. On the Sunday night animated hoo-ha called Duncanville. So it was just a pilot episode, so like I'm not really judging it too much. Wasn't like super funny, didn't like love it right away, but you know, it's just 1 episode, so you got to give it a little bit of time, see where it's gonna go. It was cute though, so we'll see how that goes and how it fits in, you know, as a follow-up to Bob's Burgers, if it's all worthy of that. We'll see. It's pretty good. Amy Poehler is like one of the creators, and she does one of the voices. The dad from Modern Family, Ty Burrell, he was the dad. I didn't really look at who does the voice cast. I just happen to recognize their voices, so I don't know who else is doing that. I have to look a little bit into it. Oh, another show that I've been watching and really like, so I wanted to throw it out there real quick because it is truly perfect geek. If anybody's seen the show Brain Games, it's on the National Geographic channel. I love the show. It's really adorable. So they have different guests. So like they talk a lot about like how your brain like works and stuff like that, and they do these different like, you know, little experiments and games with different things like, you know, versus female or young versus old, different things. Ted Danson was on an episode, and I love Ted Danson. There was a music episode with Jack Black, and we've been watching that, and that's really cool. And it talks a lot about like how your brain works and really cool stuff, and they do all these like cool little things. So really interesting. Is into that kind of thing. Check it out. It's really cute. Hey Tony. Oh, I think, I don't know how much I've talked about it or if I've mentioned it since it started, but um, the series, which I put loosely in quotation marks because it wasn't really quite a series, Miracle Workers with and Steve Buscemi, that was on last year. They did the follow-up, which is Dark Ages. Anthology. So it's all the same people who were in Miracle Workers, but playing different parts in Dark Ages. And it is like Daniel Radcliffe is so funny. Like, you know, he could have like totally flopped hard after Harry. Like, you know, every movie or everything he did was like a huge hit, but Daniel Radcliffe is so like shockingly good at comedy. He is really funny. Like his timing, just like he's hilarious. And like there are episodes of this Dark Ages show that are hysterical. So check it out. It's really funny. Daniel Radcliffe, excellent job. Like he is so funny, and I love watching him do. He's a great actor all around, but him doing comedy, they're just really good. So definitely great. Check it out. Right? Harry Potter, so funny. So we talked about the series Utopia Falls really quick when I was announcing the upcoming shows for February. Didn't really know too much about it, except that it somehow, but it came out, and now that I've seen it, I understand how Snoop Dogg fits into it. but it is a really cute show. It's reminiscent of like a Hunger Games or Divergent type of show. Exactly like either one of those, but similar, you know, in a lot of little ways. So a similar kind of story aims toward a similar kind of age group, like a would probably be like the ideal sort of age group, but I enjoyed it. I wasn't like bored with it or anything like that. I really liked it. You know, it was not exactly, you know, eloquently done in their like messaging and stuff. It was all kind of a little bit obvious. So it wasn't quite but it was really well done, really interesting. How they did it. The characters were all good, and you know, you were able to get into them and stuff like that. So they did. And so how Snoop Dogg fit into the whole thing was that he's kind of this Alexa sort of being that archive. So it takes place like a couple hundred years in the future or something like that. And they don't, you know, say exactly, I think, when, unless they said it right. But takes place hundreds of years from now. And they live in this utopian society. They kind of have these different, you know, I'm not going to get too much into it, but these kids who are part of this contest that they have, like an arts contest or sort of like a dance contest. Like they're all sort of dancers, but while some are like musician, like one's like a musician. It's very weird. Most of them are dancers. But the only kind of dance they do is this sort of like ballet modern kind of thing. Anyway, so they get picked for this contest that they have every year. Ends up finding this like archive of all things from our time that they've never heard of and don't know existed, that don't exist anymore, like hip hop and things like that, and all kind of stuff. And so Snoop Dogg is the archive, and he's like the voice that like explains everything to them and tells them what it is and stuff like Snoop Dogg is kind of the like Alexa, as it were, of like the past or whatever. And it's but he does a great job. It's a cute series, so you should check it out if you like that kind of thing. You'll definitely like it. Another series that I caught that I don't know if I mentioned or not. I have to look back. But they did a series of High Fidelity, which, for anybody who remembers, was an old movie with John Cusack, which is a great movie. If you've never seen it, check it out. High Fidelity on Hulu with Zoe Kravitz, and that was actually really good. I liked it a lot. Liked all. He did a really good job. It was really well done. If you like music, if you like the old High Fidelity and all that kind of stuff, it was a good story, and it was really cool. Well done. I like it. Look forward to seeing more of it in the future. So you can check that out. Hi, puppy. Are you going to come hang out, or are you just visiting? I came to say hello. So I guess that's all of my entertainment background noise for this week. So we'll get into our Batman extravaganza. So I guess the reason I wanted to postpone my Good Place show, which I'm still doing, but not this week because there are a couple things getting prepared for that, which weren't quite ready yet, and I didn't want to rush it. Figured better put it off a little bit. So I was like, what do I want to do for tonight then? And came up with, let's talk about some old things Batman, because I've seen a lot of Batman adjacent things, I guess. I ended up seeing Birds of Prey, which was okay. I don't know. I kind of felt like it had it wasn't quite what I expected. I guess maybe the storyline and stuff like that. It was good. It was a decent movie. I'd watch it again. I didn't love it, and I kind of expected it to be one of those movies that you would hardcore yeah, I love that movie. That potential, and they didn't quite. It almost felt like the prequel of a really good movie. It has real potential to, I think, but it really felt like a backstory movie or a prequel rather than the really good story where it gets awesome. So it kind of felt like it just didn't quite get there for me, but I thought everybody in it did a good job. I look forward. Maybe they'll be doing more of that. I imagine that they will, since nothing gets done once anymore. Not like the old days where a movie could just be a movie, but everything has to have as it is. This is just a little Suicide Squad and stuff like that. So there'll probably, I'm assuming, be more Birds of Prey material in the future. I kind of feel. Yeah, and Danny and I have kind of been watch Batman, the movie Batman, the one that's just Batman, from '89, which has been shockingly hard to find. Not streaming anywhere. Not on Netflix, not on Hulu, not on even Cody does not have a copy of Batman anywhere that we can find. Impossible to find Batman. Why? But we've kind of been in the mood to rewatch that. Haven't gotten to yet. I also happened to catch Justice League this week, which we didn't actually see before. So I just saw Justice League this week, which was also, I guess, why I'm partially in a Batman frame of mind. I thought Ben Affleck was okay as Batman. It wasn't one of my best. It wasn't my worst Batman. So I thought he did an okay job. I almost liked him more as Bruce Wayne than I did as Batman. Like, I thought he did a decent Bruce Wayne. So yeah, that was okay. So let's see. What do I want to do first? So I was thinking of doing maybe Batman trivia first to get into things before I started talking. You know what? I'm going to be nice, and I'm going to save the Batman trivia for the end. That way, a refresher beforehand. That way you don't have to, we'll try to minimize any, like, cheating and looking back at it. But I preliminary trivia type questions to sort of kick it off. So now taking the original Batman TV series, all Batman movies, and I'll Justice League as a Batman adjacent movie or a movie with Batman in it. But going on that realm alone, how many different people have played Batman in a live action that you can think of? And try not to sing the Jeopardy music while you do it. Yeah, Tony, I mean, a lot of people really like Chris, and I personally, he's pretty low on my Batman list. I just don't like Christian Bale. The only thing I've ever Christian Bale in, I think, was American Psycho, and that's probably because he is a psycho, and, like, I don't know, maybe it's his personality or in real life that makes me not like him as Batman. I've just never loved his Batman total. Patrick White is correct. So with Justice League movies and the TV series, there have been 7 people that played Batman, being okay, of course, the Adam West, then Michael Keaton, Val Kilmer, George Clooney, Christian Bale. No, it's actually 8, and I forgot to up it. So, so Zool got it right because I forgot to count Ben Affleck. And I said that he could be. So where was I? Oh, I was on Christian Bale. Oh no, actually they're both right. I'm gonna say 7 and 8 are both right because I don't know if we count Pattinson yet, since it's already definite that he's gonna be playing Batman. But that movie hasn't actually happened. So, and Robert Pattinson, sort of, because there could still be a miracle and somebody else could end up playing Batman. I guess it's still sort of. But as of now, Robert Pattinson will be the 8th Batman. There's been 7 so far. Yeah, you're exactly right about Val Kilmer, Tony. Great as Iceman, not a great Batman. Michael Keaton was probably actually my favorite Batman. Which is why I'm always to, like, bash a Batman when it's first announced, because I don't think anybody's ever been cast as Batman where it's like, that's a great choice for Batman. Like, it's never happened. So since the beginning of casting Batman, people have been pretty irritated. And when Michael Keaton was cast as Batman, like comic book nerds were not happy. At the time, Michael Keaton was, pretty well known for playing Mr. Mom. And that was all anybody talked about was, oh my God, Mr. Mom is going to be Batman. Like, he had done Beetlejuice and worked with Tim Burton before. And I was like, too, use his favorite actors more than once, and you know, from doing Beetlejuice, he kind of ended up doing Batman, and people super pissed about it, like so mad that Michael Keaton was going to be Batman, and really, he did an awesome job. Like, to me, Michael Keaton was the best Batman. In my opinion, that is the best Batman to me. And, you know, Adam West, of course, but that was a totally different style of Batman. You know, pow, bang, kind of comedic, campy Batman, which is awesome. And let me tell you, all my research today, more than anything else, me want to go back and watch the original Batman episodes so badly. So I'm going to be looking for them and how I can watch. When I find out, I will let you guys know where and how we can watch original Batman episodes, because you'll know about it. I've saved it for the end. So we're going to go through the movies first. Alright, so we're going to start off with Batman 89. The first Batman movie done, like I'm saying, like, people were not happy about the casting of Batman when it first happened, but came out, yo, there was nothing at that time that was bigger than Batman. Like, alive back then, you had a Batman shirt. Like, everybody had a Batman shirt. It was universal. Like, if you were from the hood, you had a Batman. Punk, you had a Batman shirt. If you were a kid, you had a Batman shirt. They sold Batman shirts at the corner bodegas at my, well, they were delis then. They weren't even delis. And they sold Batman shirts. Like, everybody had a Batman shirt. If you were just a baby in 1989, you had a Batman onesie or something. You had something Batman because it was everywhere. You had little Batman bows in your hair. You had something because, like, everything was Batman after that movie. It was huge. And, like, people were a little iffy about Tim Burton doing Batman. You know, Tim Burton, up until that point, had done, you know, Tim Burton style things. He had done Pee-wee's Big Adventure and, like, Juice, and people were like, yo, this is Batman, and that's, but he did an excellent job. Like, excellent. Like, Batman movie is my favorite, and the follow-up, Batman Returns, also excellently done, just visually, just what you expect a Batman movie to look like. That dark, you know, really just Tim Burton did an excellent job in his Batman. The best to me. And, like, even all of, like, okay, we see lots of Batman because a lot at, you know, Six Flags is Batman themed and has been since we were kids in New York and they first did the Batman ride. And then, you know, so, like, oh, you know, from our childhood is when, like, Six Flags started with Batman stuff, and to this day. And even the style of the Batman stuff in the park, like, it's sometimes a little bit the comic book style, but if I had to put it to anything, like, it's definitely mostly, I think, Burton style of classic Batman, because it was from those movies that Six Flags started doing Batman. As a Batman was huge. I can't even explain to you how huge Batman became at that time. So, Batman 1989, Michael Keaton, excellente. Jack Nicholson was the Joker, and to me, excellent. One of the best. People will have their favorite Jokers from different things. And in discussing the Joker, I'll also include all, like, Batman, I guess, like, Suicide Squad, so that Jared Leto gets his moment and mention, and you know, Joaquin Phoenix from the Joker. So any Batman adjacent I'll count for the Joker people too. I liked Kim Basinger even, Batman movie. Now, it's funny, when I was looking at the cast list for that, they had Billy D. Williams listed as he was probably Harvey Dent in that movie, but he wasn't actually Two-Face, I don't think, at any point in the original Batman villain in the first Batman was the Joker. So, kind of feel like that's a throw off a little bit, or maybe that was like somewhat. Yeah, so that was the Tim Burton one, and then that was followed up in '92 with Batman Returns. Michael Keaton, that's the one that had Michelle Pfeiffer as Catwoman and Danny DeVito as the Penguin. Another great Tim. The scene with like the clowns and the mimes and stuff like that, really, really cool looking. Like, he did a really scary take on, like, when I first saw how they were doing Danny DeVito as the Penguin, I was like, because I don't know, I had this kind of like a, Burgess Meredith type of Penguin, I guess, a little bit more like, I don't know, upscale Penguin, not like a wing flapper Penguin with little pointy teeth. Like, Danny DeVito was super scary as the Penguin. But it was really well done movie story, the way it was put together. I don't think Michelle Pfeiffer was the best Catwoman, personally. I don't love her version of it, but I don't hate it either, and it's a great, like, I would watch it again tomorrow. Great movie. So I for those first two Tim Burton Batman movie. I just love like the way he did them, the style of it. Excellent. So those were the two movies that were done by Joel Schumacher. They were super popular at the time. They're probably least favorite of the Batman movies altogether. So first he did Batman, which is the one where Val Kilmer played Batman. He wasn't a great Batman. That was the one with Jim Carrey as the Tommy Lee Jones did Two-Face. That was done in '95. Like I said, that's the Joel Schumacher one. So pretty quickly, I think, what was it, '97? Yeah. So he did Batman Forever and then Batman and Robin in '97. So those years. That was the one where George Clooney played Batman. George Clooney wasn't the worst Batman. He was alright. Chris O'Donnell was Robin. That was Alicia Silverstone was Batgirl. It was Poison Ivy. Arnold Schwarzenegger did Mr. Freeze, and Robert Swenson was Bane. They had like man, Vivica Fox was misbehaving. So they had a couple like extra side villains thrown in that one too. Not one of my favorite ones, not one that I really want to like go back and watch so much, really. Either one of those two. I can tell you, like, it was really huge at the time though. Like cosplay, Riddler stuff was huge. Poison Ivy, you'll probably see a Poison Ivy at a con this year, without a doubt. Like, it's one of those things that so that was really popular. Like, Uma Thurman got, a lot of notoriety for doing but in the great realm of Batman movies, those two probably lag a bit behind the pack, per se, perhaps. So Then we moved into the Nolan era of Batman. So Christopher Nolan directed the next like series of Batman movies, which started with Batman Begins, which was in yeah. So Batman Begins came out in 2005. That was where Christian Bale started playing Batman. The main villains in that one were Murphy as Scarecrow, and Ken Watanabe did Ra's al Ghul. So as I was looking through the next like here, I'll get through them real quick before I explain this. That was followed up by The Dark Knight in 2008. That was probably the biggest of the Christopher Nolan Batman movies, which was the Heath Ledger Joker. Cillian Murphy did Scarecrow again. Aaron Eckhart did Two-Face. It was decent. Well, isn't particularly like my favorite Batman. But The Dark Knight I liked as a story. I thought it was a good Batman movie. Heath Ledger did a good job as the Joker. It was a very different take on the Joker than we were kind of used to. It was like the first really dark, like really dark Joker. But he did a good job with it, and it was pretty crazy. Fit in with those like or whatever. So that followed up with The Dark Knight Rises, which wasn't, I thought The Dark Knight was a little bit better probably, but Dark Knight Rises was alright. Christian Bale is Batman yet again. Tom Hardy, Anne Hathaway, Catwoman. Marion Cotillard did Talia al Ghul. Cillian Murphy did Scarecrow again. Liam Neeson. Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Which is how I noticed, like, looking at that, like, as I'm, like, checking who played Batman movies, I'm like, this is, like, the entire cast of Inception minus, like, Leonardo DiCaprio. What? But yeah, it was the dude who directs Inception is, Christopher Nolan, the same one who directed the Batman movies. So apparently he's like and likes to use the same people in all of his movies because like Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Tom Hardy, Marion Cotillard, Ken Watanabe are all in Inception. They're all like the main people in Inception. It's pretty funny. But yeah, so that of Batman movies. And that was kind of the last hurrah of Batman movies before what so for a quick mention, so the next one is going to be called The Batman. Then comes out in 2021, so it won't be this year, it'll be next year. As I'm sure you've all heard recently, will be playing Batman. Look. Hey, Robin. So, yeah, Robert Pattinson's Batman. It is what it is. I don't suppose there's anything to be done about it now. I don't know. I've seen the expected. Now, I personally have never been a fan of Robert Pattinson, and not just from Twilight movies either. I think maybe I watched a Twilight movie once just to see what it even was and what whatever. Like, I don't know. Yeah, so I think, obviously. And so, but I never really watched them to say like how terrible he is in them, really, because it's just not. As much as I like all things horror and spooky and vampires, love them. I just kind of knew that that was not my ballpark, and I stayed away. So it's not like I kind of have a really super preconceived notion from that, because I didn't really pay attention to Twilight. Just anything I've seen is kind of very blah, and like, I don't know. It's all very like sort of over dramatic, but yet not dramatic at the same time. Like, I don't know. I don't find him to be a very like big actor. I mean, a lot of people are like, oh, he was good in Harry Potter, like super teeny part in Harry Potter. And he wasn't terrible, I guess, but I don't know. I didn't even know. I just never really thought two ways about it. So whatever. I'm not expecting a lot personally from him as Batman. I'm expecting to like it, but guess what? I could be surprised. I don't know. Maybe something that's happened over the past few years, and he can act. We'll find out. Zoe Kravitz is going to be playing Catwoman. See a lot of stuff with Zoe Kravitz. Just a lot of stuff. Since I like just watched that High Fidelity show, which she starred in. I watched like Big Little Lies. That I just kind of happened to see. I think it was a Hulu movie. Not even sure. Something called Gemini, which I didn't quite finish. But just a lot of Zoe Kravitz has been popping up lately. But I like her in general. Like, she's never been one that like turned me off, and I usually like the parts that she plays and stuff like that. And I'm actually super to see her do Catwoman. I expect a kind of like Eartha Kitt-ish vibe from that one. For it's there, whatever. So I like the choice, and I'm hoping that she does a good job with that. Paul Dano is going to be playing the Riddler. I don't know what people know him from. He was in Juno. Like, I don't know what else was he in, Paul Dano. Like, a lot of stuff, but I can't to mind something really quick with him in it for some reason. He usually plays such kind of quiet characters that like that he's cast as the Riddler, but I don't have any negative judgments about it, and hopefully he does a good job with it. We'll see. And is going to be doing the Penguin. He like invokes a little bit of a Burgess Meredith vibe of a Penguin to me. So, but Eartha Kitt vibe, Catwoman, and like I wonder if this will. I don't know. I don't know what kind of Batman movie to expect. It's going to be directed by Matt Reeves. Matt Reeves, things that he did like the Planet of the Apes movies, like Planet of the Apes and Return to Planet of the Apes, or whatever the Planet of the Apes, one of those. So he did those movies, and he did like Cloverfield and 10 Cloverfield Lane, and that like little Cloverfield series, which I really liked. So, and even Planet of the Apes, like for like yet I'm not big on the whole remake thing, fiasco that's all going on. I thought that with those Planet of the Apes movies, I like them. So I guess I believe that the new movie has potential. So we'll see how. So in and of all of my the live action Batman of this world, of course you have to get to the Batman TV series, which started all of it. So the Batman TV series for like 3 years. and it just like seems like it was kind of a big thing. But yeah, it was kind of just a quick series. It was done from 6 to 68, and I'm gonna try to get in some of the kind of like bigger maybe people that you might know of that did the Batman series, but at some point I just kind of had to stop. Even looking, there's like 683 people on the like on the cast list for the Batman. And like I said, it's like a 3-season series. And yeah, so a lot of people guest starred on Batman. Like a lot. And like because any of the people that I saw, you know, do different villains and stuff like that. And that's usually who the guest stars always were like different villains. And short-lived series, they had a lot of different people play the same character. So if you ever like, you know, you can check like IMDb if you look at like the cast list of the Batman series. Like you'll see multiple people that played Mr. Freeze and multiple people that played, you know, different characters in like a short span of time. Like that series kind of seems like an episode by episode sort of thing. Like everybody kind of even knows, you know, that, you know, Catwoman was done by Eartha Kitt, you know, in the same series. So there were a lot of characters that were like that were played by multiple things, and then just like a line playing a character. But they would usually do it for a stretch. They'll be in like 6 different episodes, or you know, 4 to 5 episodes. So it wasn't a lot of people that were on. So you didn't really see too much of that. So usually any of the villains were in multiple like episodes, which I assume were back to back, but they laid out that way, so I can't be positive. Alright, so as everybody knows, Adam West famously first to play Batman and was great at it. Adam West was a classic Batman. Everybody knows Adam West probably also from the where he sort of played himself, sort of, and he was like the mayor, and was really funny on that show and was on The Simpsons for a long time before he passed away, unfortunately. But Adam West was great and really great as Batman and was really funny on throughout his life. So on The Simpsons. Burt Ward played Robin. Cesar Romero played the Joker. Now, Cesar Romero is well known for playing the Joker. He only did the Joker in 6 episodes. And other people also played the Joker on the Batman TV series. So he wasn't who did the Joker, but he's definitely the most well-known who did the Joker. Julie Newmar and Eartha Kitt played Catwoman. On one thing that I saw, Weather played Catwoman also on the series, and on one list I did not see her name listed, so I have to double check the she did villains or characters on the Batman series, but I don't know if Lee Merriweather did or did not play Catwoman. Burgess Meredith, the most Penguin. Frank Gorshin played the Riddler. William Shatner did Two-Face. Serena Harley Quinn. Yvonne Craig played the original Batgirl. Now, these were some of the best people I saw, different characters on the original Batman series, and they are episodes that I'm going to find one way or another. I'm going to be looking. I want to see them. Like, I probably saw them as a kid when Batman was on, like, in syndication a lot. So, like, it would be on in the evening, like, afternoon, evening, you know, around dinner time-ish, when I was a kid. So, I probably saw them, but I was too young to appreciate probably the people that were in them. So Vincent Price played Egghead in 7 episodes. So Price did more episodes of Batman than Cesar Romero did as the Joker. I'm going to be looking for those. Vincent Price as Egghead. Carolyn Jones, my favorite, Morticia Adams, who's all up on my arm, was in 5 episodes of Diamonds. I'm going to be looking for those. Bruce Lee did 3 episodes as Kato. I don't know if Herman is, but if anybody doesn't, like from old, like a lot of just kind of like old Hollywood royalty, sort of like iconic people popped up. Ethel Merman played Lola Lasagna. She did 3 episodes. Roddy McDowell from the original Planet of the Apes movies. Otto Preminger did Mr. Freeze. Sid Haig, who people mostly know from like The Devil's Rejects, zombie movies of that nature, who sadly just passed away this past year, and was notably left out of the memoriam at the Oscars. Noted at the Oscars for leaving out Sid Haig, but Sid Haig actually did 2 episodes of Batman as the Royal Apothecary. John Aston Gomez from the original Addams Family also did Batman. He was the Riddler in 2 episodes. Joan Collins, which some might know, did 2 episodes as the Siren. Shelley Winters she was Roseanne's grandma on Roseanne, like the older episodes of Roseanne, and originally was in like the Poseidon Adventure. And she's also in this really Lolita, if anybody does like I can't say Stanley Kubrick movies. She was the mom in the movie. And she was also in this movie called Night and the Hunter with Robert Mitchum. It's an old white blackened movie. Super, like you would totally dismiss it. But if you ever see this movie pop up on like Turner Classic Movies or AMC, if AMC still movies, I don't know. I think maybe it's probably just Turner Classic Movies now. But whatever movie channel plays good old movies, if this old movie called Night and the Hunter ever pops up, Winters, watch that movie. It's really creepy and it's really crazy. It's really good, so check that out. Did a couple episodes as Black Widow. Zsa Zsa Gabor did episodes. So like pretty much anybody who was big back from the 30s to the 60s in Hollywood probably popped up on an episode of Batman at some point. I really just had to stop looking because the list was getting just... And I realized that I could be sitting there writing down cool guest stars on Batman for quite a while. This thing keeps popping up that says new comments, but I can't see. Yo, fully agree. Stanley Kubrick makes some awesome movies. Like, if anybody's looking for just like some of the really like best made movies of all time, like Kubrick movies, The Shining, Clockwork Orange, Dr. Strangelove, Lolita, like Kubrick movies. The man could make a movie for sure. And some people say he made the moon landing. You never know. But, yep, agreed. Like, I don't know, like a lot of people love that Dr. Sleep movie that just came out, and they're all like, ew, Dr. Sleep is so good. And like, that was just like Hollywood crap, and they like tried to put so much Kubrick into that movie but none of that is in the book. Like, and Stephen King hated Kubrick's version so much. It's just like ridiculous. The whole thing is ridiculous, and I thought Dr. Sleep was like really, really crap. But Kubrick made The Shining like, I don't know, nobody else could have done it that way. Like, they totally would have ruined it. On any list of like whatever, the 100 greatest movies of all time or whatever, The Shining will be in the top 5 every time. Usually top 3, and I've seen it as number 1 more than once. Like, it's usually that and Citizen Kane that are like vying for number 1 with The God in there somewhere usually. But it's always up there. Well, I can't believe that we went that long chatting about Batman. So, a little bit more stuff, but it probably have kept you guys for a little bit. But I've had a good time, and I feel like I'm starting to lose my voice. So I'm not going to get into the trivia stuff tonight, but I'm going to hang on to that for a future stream, Batman trivia, and get into some other cool stuff. But oh, thank you guys so much. Tonight it was a great stream. We're working on our good place. That's going to be coming up in the near future. Maybe next week. We'll see. We're going to announce coming up on Twitter and stuff like that, Facebook, Instagram, all those places that we are. We'll announce the topic for next week. What else? So Tuesday. So Danny, are you and Tony going to be on tomorrow night? Danny and Tony, you guys are streaming tomorrow? Okay, cool. So tomorrow night, you guys are what, 9:30? Yep, tomorrow night at 9:30, The World of Randomness with Two Real Geeks and Phantasmic Chronicles. Be on tomorrow night. Wednesday night, we have a game night stream. Me and I'll see you at 8:30. No. What time is Wednesday? I'll be here 8 o'clock on Wednesday for game night. Yeah, and then more stuff will happen after that. Our regular Saturday night and all of that. But thank you guys for hanging out. Have a great night. We're out. Bye. Play me out.